What is going on, guys? How are you all doing? Now, Spider-Gwen issue 1 is probably the most anticipated comic series to come out of the Spider-Verse event. Now, believe it or not, guys, Spider-Gwen wasn't actually supposed to get her own comic book series, but since she developed such a huge fanbase from the Spider-Verse event, they gave Spider-Gwen her own series anyway, and I think that it's going to be probably one of the biggest hits of 2015 so far, you know, in terms of alternate series such as Silk and Spider-Woman. Probably similar to how Miles Morales became Ultimate Spider-Man. You know, like, that's a pretty popular comic right now, so I can only imagine Spider-Gwen is going to get the same feedback, especially with, you know, female comic book readers and stuff like that. I think that's really good to, like, develop on and stuff, which is awesome. Anyway, guys, if you've been subscribed to me for a while, you probably well and truly know that I do giveaways every single video pretty much, and today is no different. We've got a giveaway for Spider-Gwen issue 1, and I basically just want to know your thoughts on Spider-Gwen issue 1. Like, what's your favourite part of this comic? Is it the art style? Is it the story? Is it just Spider-Gwen as a character? Is it the backstory of how she became Spider-Gwen? Like, what is your favourite part of the comic? Let me know in the comment section below, and I will choose a winner in Spider-Gwen issue 2. Now, the final thing before we get into this comic, I would actually just like to wish Mikhail a happy birthday for the 26th of February. I know it's the 28th right now, but yeah, I could do nothing about that. But either way, happy birthday to you, man. He actually let me know that it was going to be his birthday like a week and a half ago, and I promised him that I would give him a shout out, so that's awesome. I hope you had a good birthday, man, and I hope I actually pronounced your name right. I don't know whether I did, but either way, I hope you had a good birthday. And yeah, so guys, without further ado, we've got all of that out of the way. Let's get into this comic. Alright, so guys, as you remember, Spider-Gwen actually debuted in Edge of Spider-Verse issue 2, and in that issue we actually saw Rhino. And I know what you guys are thinking, that is not Rhino, but technically in this universe it is, because his name is Alexei, and I assume it's Alexei Setsevich, and that is Rhino, so yeah, that must be the Rhino of Spider-Gwen's universe. But anyway, we saw that Peter Parker did die in this universe, and it was Gwen that actually got bit by the spider. And of course, it's carrying on from that. This is after the Spider-Verse. This is set after the Spider-Verse. So that's why I uploaded my Amazing Spider-Man issue 15 review first, because it shows Spider-Gwen return to her home dimension. But anyway, as you can see, the antagonist for this issue right now is the Vulture. And I don't know about you guys, but was that Gwen helping out with the graffiti on that billboard, or was that just like some girl that looks like Gwen? Because I don't know whether it was or not, I don't know. But either way, the Vulture actually, well, kidnaps this police officer and actually says that he wants to feast on him and all that. I assume that it's a bit like the Spider-Man Noir Vulture, where he kind of eats people, maybe, I'm not entirely sure. But either way, we head over to Spider-Gwen actually stopping crimes and stuff like that. And like most of the, you know, like Silk and the 616 Amazing Spider-Man, they all kind of feel like the crime is a little bit boring compared to what they've just been up against. Because if you remember, they have just returned back from the Spider-Verse, and Morlun was their threat. And going back to like little petty crime seems a little boring for them. I mean, 616 Spider-Man actually said the same thing when he returned to his home dimension. And I don't know, it just seems like the superheroes are just getting a little bit, like they find the crime a little bit too easy. So it seems that they need a bit of a major villain to just come up and, you know, cause some havoc or whatever. But anyway, moving back to the comic at hand, as you could see there, Gwen hasn't really been talking to her father that much, and if you've read Edge of Spider-Verse issue 2, Spider-Gwen actually revealed her identity to her father, Captain George Stacy, and of course there's been a little bit of drama between them two since that, because Gwen has been ignoring her father's calls and stuff like that, and of course there's that controversy over Spider-Gwen apparently being responsible for the death of Peter Parker, and of course we know that's not the case. But now that Captain George Stacy knows that his own daughter is Spider-Gwen, he obviously doesn't believe these like rumours that she's the, you know, the cause of it all and stuff like that, which is really interesting. And if you remember in Edge of Spider-Verse issue 2, also, Gwen is actually part of the band The Mary Janes, and if you remember, they actually sung a song called Face It Tiger, and I remember someone on YouTube actually made the song a reality, and actually sung the song Face It Tiger, You Just Hit the Jackpot, and that actually is quite famous actually. I'll actually post a link on my Facebook page and my Twitter page if you want to go to the links in the description to see that. But yeah, so it's really interesting, and Gwen hasn't actually, I think she left the band or she got kicked out of it, I can't entirely remember, but either way, the band actually wants Gwen back. Now, of course, it's a little bit similar to that whole Amazing Spider-Man 616 with Peter Parker trying to focus his, regular life with his secret identity, and it's the same here as well with Spider-Gwen trying to find time to play in the band, but also having the responsibility of being Spider-Gwen and stuff. But guys, also I just want to point out that her name in the comic isn't actually Spider-Gwen. In the comic she is known as Spider-Woman, but the comic is just called Spider-Gwen, so if any of you guys are confused by that. But as you can see, she goes investigating and actually finds out and discovers that the Vulture is Adrian Toomes. And one thing I love about the Spider-Man comics is the fact that he cracks jokes, he's very humorous in what he does whilst he's fighting, and I think it's awesome that they've also integrated that with Spider-Gwen's character, because she's also quite humorous as well. She cracks jokes while she's fighting, she makes fun of the villain, and all of this awesome stuff. And you can even see the humorous side of it here, where she's actually wrote, "And you read terrible comics." And I know that when you're trying to, she's not trying to insult someone, she's just trying to, she's just trying to bring them out, she's trying to, I don't know, it's just quite a humorous thing to say, especially since we're reading a comic. It's kind of breaking the fourth wall, which I really like. And I especially love this line here where she said, miss me, now you gotta kiss these." And especially just seeing it in Spider-Gwen's character as well, I mean, it makes me look forward to future comics with Spider-Gwen, just because you know that she's got that humorous side to her. She doesn't take everything seriously, and I don't know, it just fits with the whole universe that she's in and stuff like that. And as you can see on screen, she's actually being taken up by the Vulture way too high for her web shooters to be able to save her. Wait, does Spider-Gwen have web shooters, or are they organic web shooters? I can't remember, but I'm just going to go with that she's got web shooters. She cannot swing from any buildings because she's so high. And of course, just like most comics nowadays, this is where the comic ends on a cliffhanger saying to be continued. And of course, you've got the final panel with her dad calling her on the phone again. And then the comic comes to a close, and that is it for Spider-Gwen issue 1. Now, what did you guys think? I mean, I thought the art style was absolutely phenomenal, especially for the universe that she's in. It fits her character, and especially her costume as well. I think she's probably got one of the best Spider-Man/woman costumes in any Spider-Man series, especially since she was in the Spider-Verse. I mean, if you haven't read the Spider-Verse, then go and watch all my reviews on the Spider-Verse, because seriously, Spider-Gwen is a really well-developed character in the Spider-Verse as well. And of course, if you guys don't know, with this Spider-Gwen series is actually going to develop on how Peter Parker actually died in her universe and how it affected her as a character, and of course how her father finding out her identity, how that's going to affect his character and their relationship as well. And I think it's going to be interesting to probably see various villains in Spider-Gwen's universe, like Rhino and Vulture. Maybe we'll even get a Venom symbiote or something like that. And Mysterio, that's what I'm hoping for. Mysterio is my favourite villain of all time. And yeah, so I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. I thought it was brilliant, as I've already said. It was a fantastic start to Spider-Gwen, especially with issue 1 as well. It's going to be interesting to see where this series takes us in a year's time, especially with Superior Spider-Man. That was going for like, what, a year and a half, 2 years, and that was probably one of the best Spider-Man story arc/series going. But yeah, so I think it's time to wrap up this video, guys. If you haven't yet, go to my Facebook page by going to the link in the description. I did actually preview this comic months ago, and then weeks ago, and then last week as well. And of course, I'll be previewing Spider-Gwen issue 2 and the Amazing Spider-Man issue 16 and Ultimate Spider-Man issue 11 and stuff like that. So yeah, make sure you go there, hit the like button on my Facebook page so you can stay up to date with all the comics coming out. Make sure you go to my Twitter, hit the follow button on there, and of course, don't forget to hit the like button. This is a Spider-Gwen issue 1 comic, so please hit that like button to show your support for this series. I think it's going to be awesome. And last but not least, guys, make sure you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video.